Chapter 11 You Regret It, Group My Shadow. Seeking Monthly Ticket Recommendation Ticket. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 11, You Regret It, I Will Be Your Shadow. Seeking Monthly Votes and Recommendation Votes. The Uchiha clan has changed its leader, and Bai Yi has become the new leader. Itachi and Shisui knelt on one knee, and the two told Sarutobi Hiruzen what happened in the clan. After hearing the information from the two, Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyes flickered, and he was shocked in his heart, changing the clan leader at this time. Is the Uchiha clan not coming with bad intentions? It's Bai Yi. I remember that when we were in the ninja school, you and Itachi were called the Uchiha twins, right? I didn't expect that he would become the leader of the Uchiha clan in the blink of an eye. Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyes flashed with emotion. He didn't expect that Bai Yi would become the clan leader. So what is his attitude towards Konoha? Shisui, have you asked Bai Yi how to deal with the relationship between Uchiha and Konoha? Sarutobi Hiruzen asked. Sorry, Hokage, we don't have it yet. We didn't attend the clan meeting today, so we are not very clear. The clan's affairs will no longer be told to them, so Shisui didn't know what Bai Yi's attitude was, but just now, after listening to Itachi's analysis, he felt that Bai Yi was indeed very likely to be a radical, but before confirmation, Shisui didn't mean to speak out his guess. After all, it was just his own guess. I know. If there is no way to do it later, I will ask Bai Yi for his opinion. I hope this child is the same as you. Sarutobi Hiruzen sighed, and he also had a bad premonition in his heart. After chatting with the two for a while, Shisui and Itachi also left the Hokage's office. At the moment when the two left, a figure walked out of a shadow in the corner. Danzo was looking at Sarutobi Hiruzen gloomily and said, "Isn't what I said just now very obvious? If the Uchiha clan changes a clan leader at this time, doesn't that mean the radicals in their clan are rising? Fugaku is really a waste. He was actually driven out by a little kid. Originally, he was preparing to boil the frog in warm water, but if the radicals came to power, then it might not be so easy to solve the problem later." In the final analysis, Danzo had already thought about the Uchiha clan. If the moderates took the initiative, he would slowly kill them. If the radicals rose, he would kill them immediately. In short, the Uchiha clan must be killed. Who said they are the evil Uchiha clan? Hiruzen, please say something. Danzo looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was smoking silently, and got angry instantly. I have been talking here for a long time. But in the end, did Sarutobi Hiruzen listen to this matter? I know what you want to say, but for now I still hope that the village and Uchiha can live in peace. If there is room for maneuver, I don't want to go to that step. Sarutobi Hiruzen exhaled a long puff of smoke, then slowly looked up at Danzo and said. You are really hypocritical, Hiruzen. Danzo looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen coldly, and couldn't help but laugh at Sarutobi Hiruzen's hypocrisy in his heart. Obviously, all the things he did were done for him, but he was the White Lotus, and all the black pots were born by himself, but Danzo also accepted it. At least occasionally he could enjoy the authority similar to that of Hokage. The Hokage is under the light, and there is no need for any black spots, and he is the root of Konoha, so any darkness is born by himself. Sarutobi, take action while the Uchiha clan hasn't reacted yet. Now the radicals have risen. If you take action later, the losses will definitely be maximized. The Uchiha clan has become the most unstable factor in Konoha. Have you forgotten the teacher's will? Danzo's face was slightly excited. He understood that the will of Senju Tobarama was to target the Uchiha clan. Moreover, he had his own purpose, so in the matter of exterminating the Uchiha clan, Danzo has been pushing it with all his strength. I said not to take action, at least not now. Sarutobi Hiruzen growled, obviously not allowing Danzo to take action. In his opinion, what reason did Danzo use to take action at this time? Although the Uchiha clan is arrogant, if you directly exterminate the human clan, what do you think other clans will think? After the Uchiha clan was exterminated, the first to bear the brunt was the Hyuga clan. If the people did not rebel at that time, it would be really strange. Sarutobi, I told you that I will bear the darkness. I can let the root do this. Danzo thought that Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't want to take the blame. Okay. Since he doesn't want to, then do it yourself. Danzo, if you dare to attack the Uchiha clan now, I will immediately remove you from your position as assistant to the Hokage and the leader of the root. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Danzo deeply, and this look made Danzo a little scared. This is obviously a warning to Danzo not to act rashly. After all, he can really remove his authority. Okay. Danzo almost exploded with anger, and turned around and left. When he reached the door, he became more and more angry, so he didn't look back and said lightly, Sarutobi, you will regret it. Danzo, I am the Hokage. Bang! The door was slammed shut by Danzo, and Danzo was extremely angry at the moment when he left. I thought of the time when the second Hokage was covering their retreat and asked who was willing to step forward. It was because of his hesitation that Sarutobi Hiruzen became the Hokage. For Danzo, he has always regretted that he was not a second faster. If he was a second faster, he would be sitting in that position, instead of being dismissed by Sarutobi Hiruzen with a sentence I am the Hokage when he put forward his opinions today. Good. Danzo can still wait, and Sarutobi, you forced me to do this. Danzo's eyes were gloomy, and he began to think about how to kill Sarutobi Hiruzen in his heart. He knew very well that Sarutobi Hiruzen had no chance with Sarutobi Hiruzen in power. A figure suddenly appeared in his mind, Orochimaru. A plan immediately appeared in his mind. Thinking of this, he had already thought about it in his heart that he seemed to have a chat with Orochimaru later. In the Hokage's office, Sarutobi Hiruzen stood up and looked at the crowd below, then his eyes unconsciously looked in the direction of the Uchiha clan. It's a troubled time. Why can't you disband a clan like the Senju clan and directly integrate into Konoha? Although he didn't quite agree with Danzo's plan, in Sarutobi Hiruzen's opinion, the existence of the Uchiha clan did affect his rule over Konoha. Chapter 12 Uchiha integrates into Konoha. Hasn't he always been there? Seeking monthly recomme. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 12 Uchiha integrated into Konoha. Not always. Seeking monthly pass recommendation votes. Early the next morning, Bai Yi was just about to prepare for the clan meeting when two figures blocked Bai Ye's way at the door of the room. Looking at the two people in front of him, a trace of surprise flashed in Bai Ye's eyes, and then he regained his composure. He didn't expect that these two people would find him so quickly. Chief Bai, although it's a bit presumptuous, is it okay if we want to have a chat with you? Shisui lowered his posture, although he is also worried that Bai Yi is a radical. He also knows that if Bai Yi is a radical, there seems to be not much to say between the two parties, but at least I have to try, and since the other party is now the clan leader, I naturally need to be respectful. Clan leader. On the contrary, Itachi was a little awkward. Although he had prepared himself mentally before coming, he saw a clan leader who was about the same age as him, someone he had even met in the ninja school. In the blink of an eye, he suddenly became his own clan leader, and he felt a little weird in his heart. What's the matter? I'm going to the clan meeting soon. Bai Yi thought for a while, then made room for the two of them to come in and talk. Thank you. Jisui glanced at Bai Yi gratefully, and then called Itachi into Bai Ye's home. After inviting the two of them to sit down and pouring them a cup of tea, Bai Yi didn't go around in circles and asked directly, what do you want from me? Although he already knew in his heart what the purpose of the two people was to find him, Bai Yi still had to pretend. Clan leader, I want to know how you will prepare to deal with the problems between Uchiha and Konoha when you take power. Although Shisui was a little surprised, since Bai Yi asked twice, he naturally didn't hide anything. He immediately started asking Byakuya how he planned to deal with Uchiha and Konoha. Oh. What do you think I should do? A hint of teasing flashed in Byakuya's eyes, and then he looked at Shisui and Itachi and asked, these two people really didn't hide anything at all. Did you come directly to seek information from Konoha? I think we should show Konoha that our Uchiha clan is not a threat. After Jisui finished speaking, he stared at Bai Yi with burning eyes, obviously wanting to see Bai Yi's specific reaction. The same was true for Itachi beside him. How can we show that our Uchiha clan is not a threat? Should we dig out all the Sharingan of the Uchiha clan or destroy all ninjas? In this case, the Uchiha clan will indeed have no threat to Konoha. Bai Yi said, a sneer flashed on his face. Kuei Jishue also turned on the kaleidoscope, but he didn't expect his mind to be so simple. This. Shisui was confused. Yes, I had just thought about making the Uchiha clan no threat to Konoha, but how could they not be a threat? It seems to be the same as what you said to Bai, right? Shisui is too naive. Why does our Uchiha clan pose a threat to Konoha? Where does this threat theory come from? Bai was still curious, why does Shisui think that the Uchiha clan is a threat to Konoha? And who told Shisui about this threat theory? Shisui, if the strength of a ninja clan can also pose a threat to Konoha, then is the Hyuga clan a threat? Is Ino Shikacho a threat? Are the Sarutobi and Shimura clans a threat? In addition, Shisui has something else I want to tell you. Do you know why the tribe resisted? Bai shook his head, looked at Shisui who was speechless, and asked a question. Jisue raised his head in confusion, and then shook his head. In fact, he probably knew it in his heart, but he couldn't say it out loud. You know that the clan members have been wronged. Why are they resisting? Because they feel threatened. When Uchiha Madara said that he would take the clan members away, the clan members were unwilling to leave. Why? Because peace is hard won. If he did not feel threatened, no one would think of resisting unless they have a brain problem. Absolutely ridiculous. When Uchiha Madara returned to Konoha, he did not take the Uchiha clan with him. At this time, you are saying that the Uchiha clan is overthinking. This is obviously impossible. There is no threat to everyone to resist. Who doesn't want peace? Byakuya, one clan after another, why do all Uchiha people think that one clan is the most important? Can't we look at this matter from a higher perspective, from the Hokage perspective? If we integrate into Konoha, why is it targeting us Uchiha? Why doesn't Konoha target other ninjas? Itachi raised his head and looked at Byakuya, his eyes full of disappointment. I originally thought that Bai, as a genius like himself, would definitely think about problems from the same height, but Bai is still locked in the clan. Could it be said that Bai is also limited to one clan? Haha, Itachi, why do you think I am limited to one clan? That's right. Shisui pulled Itachi, but in the end he didn't. Listening to his words, the sneer on Bai's face became even worse. Why do you limit your vision to one village? Why don't you focus on the entire ninja continent? The sand village has no water all year round, why don't you send water to the sand village? The rock village has always wanted Konoha's land, why don't we Konoha give it land? The cloud village wants our Konoha's blood, so we can also give it to the cloud village. The mist village is economically scarce, why don't we Konoha give money to the other party? Why do other ninja villages target our Konoha? Fuck. This is also possible. Shisui widened his eyes and was stunned, and there is nothing wrong with what he said. Itachi, first you have to understand that you are a member of the Uchiha clan, and finally a ninja of Konoha. If you follow your thinking, then are the Hyuga branch and main families also used to fight against Konoha? In addition, you said that you should understand things from the perspective of the Hokage. Sorry, why do you have to stand from the perspective of the other party? Why don't you understand from the perspective of the Uchiha clan? Why don't you stand in front of the vulnerable groups in the clan and think about whether they want to be targeted by Konoha? And integrate into Konoha? Itachi, this is the funniest joke I have ever heard. Why should our Uchiha clan integrate into Konoha? Hasn't the Uchiha clan always been in Konoha? Isn't Konoha the place where our Uchiha clan and the Senju clan created? Is it established? How can we integrate? Will it be disbanded like the Senju clan? If we are not integrated, why didn't the Hyuga clan integrate into Konoha? And after the Nine-Tailed Rebellion, the Sarutobi and Shimura clans took away the central area that originally belonged to our Uchiha clan. I really want to ask you, why were they able to take it? Is it because they have a Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen and a Hokage assisting Shimura Danzo? They are so greedy, Itachi. We Uchiha have always been in Konoha, but those people in Konoha can't tolerate Uchiha. After saying that, Bai looked coldly at Itachi, who looked a little embarrassed. At this moment, he felt that his worldview seemed to be collapsing bit by bit. Chapter 13 Itachi and Shisui's Hesitation. Seeking monthly recommendation tickets. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 13, Itachi and Shisui's Wavering. Seeking monthly pass recommendation votes. You are too extreme, Itachi said slightly excitedly. He couldn't find a reason to refute Bai, but he couldn't convince himself of his inner thoughts, because this was something he had been thinking and insisting on for these years. If I agree with Bai on this matter, so, can it be said that this incident means that all my persistence over the years has collapsed? Itachi, aren't you extreme? Did the Uchiha clan really do something wrong in this matter? Can you tell me specifically what the Uchiha clan did wrong? If Konoha doesn't want to believe Uchiha, then Uchiha has a choice. If you leave for other ninja villages, will other ninja villages welcome Uchiha, and will Konoha let the Uchiha clan leave? Speaking of it, Sarutobi Hiruzen told you about Konoha's difficulties and Danzo threatened you. If our Uchiha clan takes action, then the clan will be exterminated, right? Itachi, you are really naive, aren't you? Will the rebellion not be started? Speaking of which, as long as the Senju clan is in power, we will not be trusted. This is a problem left over from the Warring States period. If the first Hokage had not died so early or the fourth Hokage Namikaze Minato had not died, then this everything will be resolved. Even Senju Tobirama would not be in this situation if he had been in power for a longer time, but it happened that Sarutobi Hiruzen and Danzo were still in power. When the two of them were in power, White Fang was slandered and committed suicide. The three ninjas ran away. His grandson Senju Nizuki was blown up to death in front of Orochimaru and his internal organs were eviscerated, and the Ninetales Rebellion ordered us Uchiha clan not to go to war. But he came to settle matters with us and promised the fourth generation to take care of Naruto. As a result, Naruto could only eat expired food and handed over the day difference to the Kyumo ninja village in exchange for peace. Tell me which thing a Hokage should do. Bai now felt filled with anger in his heart. When he first traveled to this world, Bai always thought that he was just a spectator, but the longer he stayed in the Uchiha clan, the more aggrieved he felt. Obviously many things should not be like this. As long as the co-authors threaten their rule, as long as they are unstable factors, they must be suppressed. Itachi, we founded Konoha. We no longer need to blend in. You're in trouble. Looking at Itachi, who was sweating profusely in front of him and whose pupils were dilated, Bai couldn't help but sigh in his heart. The so-called will of fire, how is this different from those brainwashing ones? In other words, the will of fire seems to have deteriorated by the third generation, right? In fact, Madara has a saying that is right. Putting the cart before the horse, it had already changed when Hashirama chose to fight with his former brothers for the sake of the village. Konoha is no longer the wood that Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara imagined when it was first founded. Leaf, why is the Uchiha clan being targeted? In the final analysis, it is the policy and distrust of the second generation, and after continuing this policy, Sarutobi Hiruzen and others will naturally continue to target them, unless the Uchiha clan is completely disintegrated. You are right. But if there is a real rebellion, the Uchiha clan will not be able to succeed, and Konoha will also be affected by the war, which will eventually lead to the Fourth Ninja War. Shisui felt a little shaken in his heart, but he also struggled a little. Byakuya was right. Sometimes he also felt that Konoha's affairs against Uchiha were a bit inexplicable, but he didn't want to see the emergence of war, nor did he want to see the civil strife between the Uchiha clan and Konoha, so he kept adjusting the situation between the two parties. After Shisui finished speaking, Itachi couldn't help but have a flash of emotion on his face, looking at Shisui in shock. Obviously, he didn't expect Shisui to agree with Bai's idea, but he really couldn't find any reason to refute it. You are wrong. Our Uchiha clan wants to resist, but not against the entire Konoha, but against the group of elders headed by Sarutobi Hiruzen. Byakuya shook his head. He was not arrogant enough to be the enemy of the entire Konoha, although it is possible, if nothing happens, I will probably go blind, so he never thought about using force to rebel. After all, sometimes there is no need to use force at all. How did White Fang die in the first place, and how did the Sannin escape? Isn't it just a rumor in the village? If he could make use of this, there would be no need for him to use force. It must be said that what Sarutobi Hiruzen and others did was too dirty. Anyway, using force is only the last option, and before that, he has to use force first, not only to kill people, but also to kill people's hearts. Speaking of Shisui, are you here to test my attitude on behalf of the third generation? You can tell him directly that I am not a compromiser. Whatever Konoha does to us, I will do to Konoha. This is very important. Fair. Is there really no room for maneuver at all? Jisue, you know, I actually don't want to. The reason why I said so much to you is that I hope you can think more about the family. No one in the family wants to rebel. If you are not forced to have no choice, think about it. When you do this, how many people in the clan are disappointed with you? Konoha is everyone's Konoha, not the third generation's Konoha. The first thing you should consider when doing anything is your family. You want loyalty, but family love is the only thing. That's the first priority. Go back and think about it. The clan meeting is about to begin, so I'll leave first. Bai Yi said, standing up and patting Shisui's shoulder. The Xiaozi is not very useful to Bai Yi at present. Before opening the Mangekyo, he is no longer his opponent. Shisui's Mangekyo is very threatening to him, so Bai Yi needs to win over Shisui, and once Shisui is won over by him, the Xiaozi's position is actually not important. The Xiaozi is not as opinionated as he is in the later period. On the one hand, it is because of Shisui's existence. He actually follows Shisui in many things. On the other hand, he is not under much pressure now. In the original work, after Shisui died, all the pressure fell on Itachi. At that time, Itachi had to face the pressure of Danzo on the one hand. He knew that it was Danzo who took away Shisui's eyes, but he couldn't do anything. In addition, he was accused by various people in the clan that he killed Shisui, and Obito came to him. Under all these circumstances, when the rebellious sentiment in the clan was getting higher and higher and there was no hope, he chose to exterminate the clan. What Bai Yi despised was that if he wanted to exterminate the clan, he should do it cleanly and not leave a younger brother behind. Shaking his head, Bai Yi left first, leaving Shisui and Itachi staring at each other in bewilderment. For a moment, neither of them knew what to say. Should we tell the third Hokage? Shisui suddenly felt that he didn't know what to say. Go ahead, but don't say the previous words. Just the latter ones. Judging from Bai Ye's appearance, he will probably act soon. Whether we say it or not, the third Hokage will know. Itachi was silent for a while, and finally decided to say it. Judging from Bai Ye's appearance just now, he will probably act soon. Even if they don't say it now, won't Sarutobi Hiruzen know the follow-up? As for the previous words, Itachi decided not to tell Sarutobi Hiruzen for the time being. He was a little hesitant in his heart. Chapter 14, Sarutobi Hiruzen's Evil Heart. Seeking monthly recommendation tickets and follow you. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 14, Sarutobi Hiruzen's Evil Heart. Seeking monthly votes and recommendation votes. Hiruzen, why are you still hesitating? I told you that the Uchiha clan cannot be trusted, right? That just now, after Itachi and Shisui told Sarutobi Hiruzen some of Bai Ye's words, he immediately summoned the elders to come to a meeting. There is no way, in Sarutobi Hiruzen's view, Bai Ye's thoughts are simply too dangerous. It seems that it is just as Itachi and Shisui said, the radicals have come to power. If they hadn't come to tell me about this today, I would still have a little idea of taking it slow. Hiruzen, I think it's better to do it directly. Mito Kato-en and Udatane Koharu looked at each other, and then decided to agree to Danzo's request. In the past, they have always been a little hesitant in the middle, on the one hand because they wanted to swallow the Uchiha cake, on the other hand they were afraid that Konoha would lose a large combat force, which would cause a war later. Moreover, once the war between Uchiha and Konoha is triggered, the Fourth Ninja World War is probably inevitable. Even if they don't take action, other ninja villages will definitely take the opportunity to get benefits from Konoha. Sarutobi, what are you hesitating about? Looking at Sarutobi Hiruzen, who has been smoking but not talking, Danzo is a little anxious at this moment. He doesn't understand. He was not anxious before, but now that the radicals in Uchiha have risen, is he still not anxious at this time? Do you know what it means to take action now? Sarutobi Hiruzen took the last puff of cigarette, then he took a long breath, looked at a few people and asked. Konoha and Uchiha clan go to war. Utatane Koharu is not a fool, and naturally knows that since the radicals have risen, if they take action with the Uchiha clan now, it will definitely be a war. Even the doves will never sit idly by. Yes, fighting now is a war. I don't want to see this happen. Even if the Uchiha clan can be defeated, how much loss will Konoha suffer? How many elite ninjas does the Uchiha clan have? It can be said that one Uchiha can beat 2 ordinary ninjas, right? According to the current size of the Uchiha clan, there are at least 600 ninjas, if not 800. And there are also some ninjas in the family who will not go to the village. They are all ninjas of the family, so, once fighting with the Uchiha clan, Konoha must pay a price of 1,000 to 2,000 ninjas to defeat the opponent. At this time, with the addition of hundreds of ninjas from the Uchiha clan, they have lost thousands of ninjas. How should they fight against other ninja villages? Although most of them are Chunin and Genin, it is still a big loss. But Sarutobi, have you ever thought that continuing to delay will only make us more passive? Danzo has been implementing the plan against the Uchiha clan. He believes that since they have to fight in the end, it is better to fight directly. After all, once the Uchiha clan finds a countermeasure to this thing, they will be in a passive position. Who will take action? Sarutobi Hiruzen turned his eyes to Danzo, his eyes full of speechlessness. No. Can you think of anything else besides taking action? If you want to take action against the Uchiha clan, you must have a reason at least. You started to take action before they even started to rebel. Isn't this telling other ninja clans, just wait, if one day I am not happy with you, your fate will be the same as the Uchiha clan, who will obey him then? So Sarutobi Hiruzen must not take action, and at the same time he must also hold Danzo down from taking action. If he can cause problems within the Uchiha clan and let them kill themselves, that would be the best result. So, when he knew that Uchiha Fugaku wanted Itachi to come to the Umbu as a spy, he was thinking about temporarily stabilizing the Uchiha clan on the one hand, and cultivating some of his own people who could deal with the Uchiha clan on the other hand. You said, if the Uchiha clan had internal strife, and then consumed itself and killed itself, even if there were 1 or 2 left, he could let the Umbu finish off, but most of them were killed by his own people. At that time, he only needed to shift all the responsibility to the other party, and then say some good words. Wouldn't the matter be over? The threat of the Uchiha clan was gone, and he didn't need to bear the blame. At the same time, even if other ninjas in the village felt something was wrong, they wouldn't say much. After all, at that time, the Uchiha clan fell, and everyone could eat a piece of the cake of the collapse of the Uchiha clan, so naturally no one would say anything, no one would complain for the Uchiha clan that had been exterminated, but they couldn't take action directly. The nature of taking action by oneself would change, so this is why Sarutobi Hiruzen has been pulling the doves, giving them hope, and then putting pressure on the Uchiha clan to make the radicals rebel. Once there is internal strife between the two sides, it is time for him to take action, but he never expected that Bai seemed to have the unanimous support of radicals, conservatives, and centrists. Now the Uchiha clan was united, then he had no reason to take action. Danzo, you have to think clearly. We can't take action. After all, the Uchiha clan is our Konoha. Sarutobi Hiruzen said with a hint of meaning, which also reminded Danzo, it is true that we cannot be too eager to destroy the Uchiha clan. If you want to destroy such a large clan silently, you must plan carefully, otherwise it will only leave people with something to talk about. Once other clans in the village become hostile to them, it will be really troublesome. But you can't just watch the other party go down the path of rebellion, right? Danzo narrowed his eyes and looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen with a hint of meaning in his words. What he meant was that if you Sarutobi Hiruzen find a way, the Uchiha clan will rebel sooner or later. If you don't take action, it will be more troublesome in the future. After he takes office, he needs to do something to make the clan convinced. These days we must safeguard the interests of Konoha and other ninja clans. We can't let the Uchiha clan go to extremes. We can appease them if we can. Sarutobi Hiruzen said with a hint of meaning. That's right, his meaning is also very simple. Bai came to power with pressure, otherwise the centrists and conservatives would not compromise, but if Bai can't do anything, then Uchiha Fugaku will most likely be lifted up. The last sentence is ostensibly about safeguarding the interests of all Konoha clan members, but this is equivalent to pushing the Uchiha clan to the opposite side of Konoha and all ninja clans. This is also the usual method used by Sarutobi Hiruzen. It is said to be appeasement, but in fact it is to repeatedly pull the emotions within the Uchiha clan, making the other party see hope and lose hope, thereby exacerbating the conflict between the two factions and achieving the effect of bloodless victory. Chapter 15, Crazy Attack on Danzo, Sarutobi Hiruzen, seeking monthly votes and recommendation ticket. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 15, The Mad Fight Against Danzo and Hiruzen. Sarutobi, please seek monthly recommendation votes. Sandim-sama is in trouble. That the ANBU took a piece of information, placed it in front of Sarutobi Hiruzen, opened the scroll, and Sarutobi Hiruzen's expression changed. What is this Uchiha clan doing? What's wrong, Hiruzen? Koharu glanced at the ANBU and then at Hiruzen. Sarutobi. Watching his expression gradually change, Koharu also felt a little confused as to what happened. Could it be that madman Kumogakure is starting another war? You should look at the Uchiha clan's problems for yourselves. Sarutobi Hiruzen touched his forehead in distress, and then placed this information in front of several people for them to see. He really didn't expect this thing to turn out like this. Could this be Baiye's first move? Although he had already guessed that Byakuya would definitely do something after he came to power, this move was obviously something Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't expect. The security team directly fights the mud. What on earth is this going to do? That when they went to bed, Koharu and Mito Kadoyan were both confused. No. Why does this feel like a trick played by children? Just start ignoring it. This guy is very smart, Danzo said with gloomy eyes. Compared to Mito Kaden and Koharu, his political sense is obviously higher than the two of them, and he can naturally see what Byakuya wants to do. This trick seems like a child's trick, but it can indeed have some effects. But if the Uchiha clan wants to rely on this thing to solve their predicament, it seems a bit awkward, right? Lord Hokage, many villagers in the village are already downstairs waiting for you to give you the results. I understand. Let them wait for now. You can go find the new leader of Uchiha and the elders of the three factions to come over. After a moment of silence, Sarutobi Hiruzen decided to talk to Byakuya first. This time it is obviously more difficult to deal with than Uchiha Fugaku, therefore, he also needs to find Bai to find out. Yes, the ANBU disappeared into the Hokage's office, and then the four of them began to discuss what to say when Byakuya came later. Prepare in advance so there won't be any problems later. Byakuya, Uchiha, there are three elders. Lord Hokage has invited you to come over to discuss some matters. The ANBU quickly found Byakuya, Uchiha Tetsu, Uchiha Setsuna and Uchiha Jin on the side. All turned their heads to look at Byakuya in disbelief. Is it really what he said? As long as they do this, the Hokage will find them soon. After the clan meeting ended, the Uchiha clan began to implement the plan made by Byakuya last time. The Uchiha guard started to fight, and when dealing with things, they tended to let the Konoha villagers go to the village to deal with it. But now they are either drinking tea in the office, or they can't find anyone who is on a mission. In just one morning, the whole village was in chaos. In the past, whenever there were some trivial matters in the village, they would go to the Uchiha guards. Anyway, everyone has their own reasons. If you Uchiha can't handle it well, then it's your Uchiha's problem. But now the Uchiha people just don't deal with it for you. They just drink tea and can't find anyone, and then ask them to find people on the other side of the village to solve it. The villagers who were used to being uncles were a little panicked for a moment. Who doesn't know that it doesn't matter if you go to Uchiha with problems over the years and lose your temper, the other party will tolerate it anyway. This is one of the few opportunities for them to lose their temper with the ninja master, and the villagers will naturally not let this opportunity pass them by. But now, the Uchiha clan simply stopped playing with you. Except for a few old men in the guard team who were drinking tea and reading newspapers, all the other young people in the guard team had left their posts due to urgent missions. Moreover, this also said that he had already registered and would deal with it immediately when the people came back, but there was no one there at all. They wanted to deal with it immediately, so a group of people started to gather together and came to the Hokage's office. Some people want to solve the problem, while others want to complain to the Uchiha clan. Wait a minute, we'll be there later. Baiyi nodded, with a smile on his lips. It seemed that his plan was successful. It was just to discuss Konoha and the villagers. It's not your father who cares about so many things about you. You can complain as much as you want, but seriously I will lose. So what if I complain to Konoha? Originally, the salary of the guard force was paid internally by the Uchiha clan. Byakuya didn't want to ease the relationship between Uchiha and Sarutobi Hiruzen, so he naturally let it go. As for chilling the villagers, it's not that the Uchiha clan doesn't want to deal with it, it's just that there are some urgent matters at the moment. When their own problems are solved, why not help them deal with it immediately? Besides, haven't they arranged for a few retired uncles to register them? Let's go, 3. Kindness. The three of them looked at each other and then followed Baiyi. It may be Baiyi's first time to come to this kind of scene, but the three of them have already experienced it. Clan Leader Bei, this is your first meeting since becoming the clan leader. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at the visitor and greeted him with a smile, while Danzo and Mito Kadoan beside him had cold expressions on their faces. They had discussed it before they came. Yes, this is indeed our first meeting. Does Hokage-sama have anything to do with me? You might as well tell me directly. Byakuya also didn't talk nonsense with Sarutobi Hiruzen. This attitude somewhat surprised Sarutobi Hiruzen to be so direct. However, he quickly recovered. The old god took a puff of cigarette, squinted his eyes and smiled kindly. I was just thinking that the Uchiha clan suddenly elected a new clan leader, so I wanted to meet him. Whispering sound, what an old fox, Baiyi cursed secretly in his heart, and then replied, I am also a little surprised by the arrangement within the clan. Sarutobi Hiruzen said that the Uchiha clan changed its leader and the village didn't know about it. Could it be that the Uchiha clan didn't inform them about such a big event, and Byakuya responded directly. This is what happened within the Uchiha clan. I thought Byakuya would not be able to catch it, but Sarutobi Hiruzen realized that he still underestimated Byakuya a little too much. That's right. I said Fugaku has done well over the years. Why did he suddenly come down? It's really sudden. Speaking of which, has Fugaku been resting within the clan recently? Sarutobi Hiruzen continued talking as if he didn't understand Byakuya's words. Fugaku is indeed resting during this period. He also said some time ago that he feels too tired. Sometimes he wants to do something, but some people don't respect the clan leader as a human being, so he wants to quit when he is tired. As for the clan leader, I also briefly dealt with those who did not treat the clan leader as a human being, and it seems to have worked well. Damn it. Is this kid okay? Uchiha Setsuna on the side looked at Baiyi in shock, obviously shocked by Baiyi's bragging and not drafting. He originally thought that Baiyi would face this kind of scene for the first time. Maybe I still feel a little timid in my heart, but I didn't expect that Baiyi would be able to handle it so easily. Byakuya was talking about the internal affairs of the Uchiha clan, but wasn't it a metaphor for Konoha? It is said that the Uchiha clan is dissatisfied with Fugaku, but in fact it is the conflict between Konoha and Uchiha, and what Baiyi said was a simple solution had a good effect. In the case of the Uchiha guards messing up just now, the effect seemed pretty good. This brat must be killed. Danzo glanced at Sarutobi Hiruzen and didn't say anything. He just labeled Byakuya as dead in his heart. In his opinion, Baiyi must die this time. Otherwise, judging from the current performance of this guy, he will definitely be an opponent hundreds of times more difficult than Uchiha Fugaku. But it doesn't seem like just tapping is a good idea, right? Don't you want to ease the atmosphere within the clan? Sarutobi Hiruzen asked. It's useless to ease up. After all, some people just want to see their clansmen live a bad life. Baiyi replied, frowning. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Byakuya, and then sighed, Chief Byakuya, I feel there may be some misunderstanding here, that it's not easy to fool. Sarutobi Hiruzen felt that the situation in front of him was really difficult to handle. For example, a trace of interest flashed in Byakuya's eyes, and then he handed over the topic to Sarutobi Hiruzen. He wanted to see what Sarutobi Hiruzen was going to say next. I actually think that the issue of the Uchiha guard should not be like this. This will only aggravate the villagers' view of the Uchiha clan. I have stabilized it for you. If it continues like this, I will not be able to convince those villagers all the time. Sarutobi Hiruzen had a flash of displeasure and distress in his heart. If it had been Uchiha Fugaku in the past, he would have expressed gratitude to himself first, but from Baiye's face, he didn't see it at all. Instead, he felt that the other party was looking at him with a teasing look. This inevitably made Sarutobi Hiruzen have a little doubt about himself. There are some things within the Uchiha that need to be dealt with. There is no way to deal with other things for the time being. I can only trouble you, Hokage-sama, to deal with them first. Asshole, do you know what the Uchiha guard does? Do you know how much this has delayed things? You Uchiha will be responsible for all the consequences. Do you know how many people want the right of the guard? Danzo saw that the red face of Hiruzen Sarutobi was useless, so obviously his dark face also needed to appear. I didn't say I wouldn't handle it. I just want to deal with matters within my own clan first. Besides, the salary of the security team is not paid by Konoha, right? If we are dissatisfied with the security team, we Uchiha can hand over the security team to other people. Ninja Clan, since Elder Danzo wants it so much, if the security team is a good thing, why not give it to you, the Shimura Clan? After Byakuya finished speaking, Uchiha beside him burst into laughter. Why are you laughing? Danzo looked at Uchiha Setsuna with a sullen expression. Sorry, I thought of something funny. Uchiha Setsuna has received professional training and will not laugh under normal circumstances unless he can't help it. He didn't expect Baiyi to be so damaged. Speaking of which, looking at Danzo's aggrieved face, he felt relieved, and at the same time he became more determined to support Byakuya. Byakuya, the village has always wanted to improve relations with you Uchiha clan, not to mention that this police force was your next responsibility. Do you think this means giving up? Isn't this somewhat irresponsible? Sarutobi Hiruzen quickly warned Byakuya that no one knew that this guard was a restriction on Uchiha. If it were really thrown out, it wouldn't be a piece of cake. Looking at Sarutobi Hiruzen who came out to smooth things over, a sneer flashed in Byakuya's eyes. Did he start moral kidnapping again? Since you all think that the Uchiha clan is not competent, why do you still need the Uchiha clan to do it? Isn't it because these things offend people that they are thrown to the Uchiha clan? Hokage, can't everyone open their hearts and talk? Why do you have to pretend so much? This, Sarutobi Hiruzen was stunned for a moment, obviously not expecting Baiyi to say this to him. Hokage, you know who intensified the conflict. Isn't this the method you are best at using? Right? Danzo assists. No. If you want to attack Sarutobi Hiruzen, then attack Sarutobi Hiruzen. Why did you mention your own name at the end? Danzo's eyes were gloomy, and then he said calmly, why should the Uchiha's own problems be attributed to others? You are arrogant in your clan, and you don't know how to restrain yourself in the village. Naturally, you will be rejected by the whole village. What's more, during the Nine-Tails Rebellion, the Nine-Tails was controlled by the Sharingan, and the first Hokage died not long after fighting with Uchiha Madara, the ancestor of your Uchiha clan. This trick has been used by them time and time again. At the beginning, no matter how Fugaku explained, it was the Uchiha clan's Sharingan that controlled the Nine-Tails, and everyone could see the Sharingan in the Nine-Tails' eyes clearly. They don't have any explanation, right? If the death of the first Hokage is counted on our Uchiha clan, then we can just count upwards. During the Warring States period, many members of your clan were killed by our Uchiha clan, so we can just count them together. Since we want to count them carefully, why not find the Hyuga clan to count together and see how many ninjas of each other were killed when we conquered each other in the past? Puff. Sorry, I will hold it back. Uchiha Setsuna waved his hands repeatedly, and then forced himself to hold it back. What the hell? This kid's words can really make people angry to death. Even if he is unreasonable, he will fight for you. Just now he didn't know how to explain it, but Bai directly gave you a trick of the history book of years. You like to reminisce, right? Why not recall it upwards? Then how do you explain the Ninetales Rebellion? Someone also saw a strange masked man appear that day. I now seriously suspect that this masked man is Danzo's subordinate or collaborator. After all, we Uchiha clan can't get the information about the fourth Hokage's wife giving birth, but you, Danzo, as the Hokage's assistant, can get it. Secondly, none of your root showed up during the Ninetales Rebellion. I seriously suspect that you directed and acted this out yourself, damn it. Danzo has already started cursing in his heart. The people around him were also shocked by Bai's theory and couldn't speak. Isn't it said that Uchiha are all reckless men who only know how to fight? When did he become so powerful in talking? Chapter 16 Sarutobi Hiruzen set his own trap. Please read on. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 16, Sarutobi Hiruzen was tricked by himself. Seeking for further reading. You are simply ridiculous. How could I do something that would harm Konoha? Danzo was so angry that he almost vomited blood. This guy was telling lies with his eyes open, and he was worse than anyone he had ever encountered before. I originally thought that Bai would not be able to find any reason to refute these 2 points of view, but who would have thought that Bai could confuse right and wrong even better than himself? Have you not done enough? Don't you know how White Fang died? Byakuya looked at Danzo with a smile, but this smile gave Danzo a chilling illusion in his eyes. Of course he knew how White Fang died. Wasn't he forced to death by himself? White Fang's reputation in the village was too high at first. At that time, Danzo still had a glimmer of fantasy, that is, after the third Hokage abdicated, he could successfully take over and become the fourth Hokage, but he didn't expect that White Fang's sudden appearance would directly cause his plan to fail. Fortunately, hard work paid off, and an opportunity appeared in front of him. Originally, he just wanted to undermine White Fang's prestige, but he never expected that White Fang would commit suicide because of it. All the other 3 ninjas that followed might block their way. Danzo also began to target them one by one, but he did not expect that the appearance of Namake's Minato completely disrupted Danzo's plan. Seeing that the other person becomes Hokage is already a certainty. As a result, not long after he took office, the Ninetales Rebellion happened. At that time, Danzo was almost grinning. He held the idea that if Minato died, he would reap the benefits, so it didn't appear at all, and the most important thing is that at that time many people saw the Sharingan in Kyuubi's eyes. That has given Danzo a great advantage over the years. Because of the Ninetales Rebellion, the reputation of the Uchiha clan has plummeted. Although they were arrogant in the past, everyone tolerated it, but after the Ninetales Rebellion came to an end, he found that the village was already rejecting the Uchiha clan, and then he used his previous method of guiding public opinion. He also pushed the Uchiha clan to the opposite side. He originally thought that if Fugaku had been the clan leader, the Uchiha clan would be wiped out by his own hands, and he had fulfilled the second Hokage's last wish. This also proves that he is more powerful than Hiruzen Sarutobi and more suitable to become Hokage. Ahem, Byakuya, I don't think we need to be like this. We are all part of Konoha, so why should we be like this? Aren't we also improving the relationship between the village and Uchiha? Sarutobi Hiruzen coughed slightly, obviously knowing that it was impossible to talk about this matter. Everyone knows it. Also, Danzo, don't talk about the Ninetales Rebellion anymore. The Yondaime also told me about this once, and it was a guy wearing a mask. Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't want to continue talking about this matter. In his opinion, there was no result at all. Is it really possible to say that it is the Uchiha clan and then cause civil strife? Anyway, whether he was a member of the Uchiha clan or a member of the Uchiha clan who remained outside, Sarutobi Hiruzen would not regard it as anything else. Hokage-sama, we Uchiha also want to improve the relationship with Konoha, but before that, do we have to show our sincerity first? Byakuya looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen with a smile. Seeing him like this, he didn't know why he was starting to make a fool of himself again. Speaking of which, compared to true villains like Danzo, hypocrites like Sarutobi Hiruzen are the most disgusting. It was obvious that Danzo wouldn't dare to do many things without his nod or acquiescence. But she still has to pretend to look like a white lotus flower. People who don't know this think he is so innocent. Okay, tell me, Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyes lit up. He didn't expect Byakuya to be so easy to talk to. Was he just showing off his power before? If that's the case, it seems to be easy to control. Danzo on the side couldn't help but curl his lips when he saw Byakuya no longer pretending at this time, and thought about what Uchiha Fugaku had asked for in the first place. Most likely, he is the same as Uchiha Fugaku, right? If this is the case, why bother replacing Fugaku Uchiha? Sure enough, the Uchiha clan was no longer the Uchiha clan back then, but now it was just a dying Uchiha clan. Uchiha Setsuna, on the other hand, after hearing that Byakuya wanted to negotiate terms with Sarutobi Hiruzen, his expression changed, and a memory of death suddenly attacked him. It seems that Uchiha Fugaku was a little tough at first and wanted to negotiate terms with Konoha. As a result, there was no follow-up. This won't be like this in the White Knight, right? It was hard for him to see hope in Bai. He wouldn't let him down just like that, right? First of all, give us back the land that originally belonged to the Uchiha clan during the Ninetales Rebellion. No. You came up to play such a big game? Sarutobi Hiruzen's originally kind face suddenly froze. I originally thought that Bai would at best propose to improve his relationship with the villagers. The most important thing is to ask for money or status, but who would have thought that Bai would ask for land at his first word? Can this be given? The location where Uchiha once stood was in the center of Konoha. To whom? Sarutobi and the Shimura clan took a part, while Uchiha Koharu and Mitaminen also took a part. Then some was given to the Inoshikacho and Hyuga clans. Now, that piece of land has been divided up, so how can we get it back if we still need to ask them for it now? Go ask the Hyuga clan and Inoshikacho, Danzo said directly, with a sneer on his face. Sarutobi Hiruzen was embarrassed to say it, so he said it. Danzo, how can you talk like that? Sarutobi Hiruzen's face changed, and he shouted loudly. Danzo on the side didn't care, because he knew that this was just Sarutobi Hiruzen's disguise. Inoshikacho and Hyuga took at most a quarter. The remaining half was taken by Sarutobi and the Shimura clan, and the remaining half was taken by the families of Uchiha Koharu and Midokado-en. What? Being an elder means you have privileges, right? Besides, who told you that I won't ask them for it back? Bai raised his head and a sneer flashed across his face. With the Mangekyo, he has the confidence. At worst, he can directly lead the people in the clan to rebel. As long as he can incite Shisui to rebel, he will not be afraid of anyone in the whole Konoha. Incite Shisui to rebel, 2 pairs of Mangekyo, and then persuade Fugaku with reason and emotion, then it will be 3 pairs. He doesn't believe that 3 pairs of Mangekyo can't solve the problem between Konoha and Uchiha. At present, Bai will not touch Inoshikacho and Hyuga, but he will not give up on this Konoha F4. Then, when you get those back first, my Shimura clan will return all the land to you. Danzo also smiled. If you have the ability, go find Hyuga. He doesn't believe that Hyuga will return the land to Uchiha anyway. As long as Hyuga doesn't return it, he won't return it. I also say that if Hyuga and Inoshikacho are willing to return the land to your Uchiha clan, then there is no problem with the exchange. Tanan Koharu and Mitaminen also agreed. They also don't think that the Hyuga clan will succumb to the Uchiha clan. These 2 families have been fighting openly and secretly. It is obviously impossible for the Hyuga clan to return the land. Bai, if you think that taking away the land can improve the situation, then I can exchange the land of the Sarutobi clan with the current Uchiha clan. Of course, if you also want to get all the land back after dealing with the Hyuga clan, I can do that too. Sarutobi Hiruzen said hypocritically. Their Sarutobi clan is in the center, and the place that the Uchiha clan takes back is too small to live in, and the Hyuga clan happened to be next to them, so they had to take them down before they could establish themselves, so the problem went back to the Hyuga clan. This is also the reason why Sarutobi Hiruzen said that he could give it to Bai in advance. You are wrong, this does not belong to your family, it belongs to Konoha. When Konoha was established, this land was taken by our ancestor Uchiha Madara, so if you have to count it, it is also our Uchiha clan, not your Sarutobi clan. In addition, according to what you said, if I can deal with the Hyuga clan, then I will take back the land that belongs to our Uchiha clan. Can't deal with the Hyuga clan. Just kidding. Originally, I thought it would not be so easy to take it back, but I didn't expect Sarutobi Hiruzen and others to really dig a hole for themselves. Then, sign a written agreement. This. Sign it. If you can't get it back from the Hyuga clan and the Ino Shikacho, then you can't continue to make trouble with us. Danzo said hurriedly, the Hyuga clan is not on good terms with the Uchiha clan, and Ino Shikacho is on the side of the Hokage, so it is obviously impossible for the other party to take it back. That's why Danzo wanted to establish it, which may be the key to dealing with the Uchiha clan in the future, so. Several people signed a document and established it. Then Bai, do you have any other issues that need to be resolved by the Uchiha clan? Don't worry, we can just settle them one by one. Since there is nothing, I will leave first. Later, Lord Hokage, please don't refuse to pay. The issue of the guard team will start after our internal reform is completed. Lord Hokage, please solve the problems of the village by yourselves these days. You are also the Hokage, and you can't throw everything to the guard team, right? Bai didn't want to raise so many issues at once. These can be solved one by one. Take back the land that originally belonged to the Uchiha first. I know, I will take over in the near future. I hope you will be quick. Sarutobi Hiruzen lowered his head, and a gloomy flashed in his eyes. He knew that even if he rejected Bai at this time, the other party would still do it. It was meaningless. He could only start from this incident. Once Bai could not get back the original land of Uchiha and completely cut off all the thoughts of Uchiha, then Bai would definitely be kicked out. Looking at the backs of the four people, Sarutobi Hiruzen also had a plan in his mind. He glanced at Danzo obscurely, then turned his head, and Danzo understood. After leaving, Uchiha Setsuna frowned and looked at Bai and asked, "Are you sure that Hyuga will return the land to us? We are mortal enemies." Bai was too careless just now. Although Uchiha Setsuna has always wanted to take back the original clan land, it seems impossible. They have all been eaten by the other party. Will they spit it out? They are in power now, so we need to dismantle their prestige bit by bit before we can take action. The Uchiha clan needs a victory. The clan is too depressed now. I will deal with Hyuga and Ino Shikacho. I will not agree to anything I am not sure of. Bai has two plans. The first one is that if he can convince or defeat Hyuga Hayashi, then it will be over. If not, he can only convince Shisui. After talking with Shisui last time, it is obvious that Shisui is a little shaken. As long as he gives him another dose of strong medicine, he will rebel directly. But Bai should not say this matter if he can. After all, Danzo's arm is his trump card to kill Konoha F4. Do you need the help of Uchiha? Uchiha's eyes lit up. What Bai said made a lot of sense. At this time, the Uchiha clan needed a victory too much. Now the clan members are also pessimistic, and various emotions are spreading. If they can get back the land that originally belonged to them, then this will be a great victory for the Uchiha clan. Not for the time being. As the clan leader, I will take care of it myself. Also, tell everyone in the clan that I want to take back all the land. Isn't this too risky? Uchiha Tai was confused. You haven't taken it back yet, why are you so eager to tell everyone? Even if I don't tell them, Sarutobi Hiruzen and the others will spread the news. It's their old trick. Why don't you just tell them directly? We can still take the initiative. I see. The three of them were silent for a while, and then they agreed, because they also knew that Bai was right. Speaking of which, from Bai, the three seemed to see something that Uchiha Fugaku didn't have before, and as the news spread, the Uchiha clan, Hyuga and everyone in Konoha knew that the Uchiha clan wanted to take back the central area that originally belonged to the village. Shisui, what do you think he is thinking? If we can't get it back, then our Uchiha clan will become a joke of the entire Konoha. Although Uchiha Itachi always hated the Uchiha clan for saying that they were one clan, but Bai's approach was obviously ill-considered. If he didn't get it back, how would Konoha look at them? Itachi, believe Bai. Although he doesn't want to admit it, he does see farther than us. Look at the smiles and confidence on the faces of the clan members. It seems that we are all wrong. After Shisui finished speaking, he closed his eyes and began to recall how long he hadn't seen it on the faces of the clan members. He once thought he was helping the Uchiha clan, but the clan members would only misunderstand them, but Baiyi really seemed to give the clan members hope. The Uchiha clan has been suppressed for too long. Chapter 17 Rizu, are you willing to be a dog? Please read on. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 17 Rizu, are you willing to be a dog? Seeking for further reading. But if this is the case, once it fails, all our previous efforts will be in vain. He is preparing to make Uchiha and Konoha completely incompatible, although Itachi had a slight change in his opinion of Baiyi after talking to him last time, but now facing this situation, he actually still didn't agree with Baiyi's approach in his heart. At least the Uchiha clan and Konoha should not be completely on opposite sides. No one in Konoha knows that Byakuya is planning to take back the land that was originally at the center of Konoha, but all of this land has been divided up by other ethnic groups. Moreover, rumors were spread, and the elders agreed, but only if Ino Shikacho and the Hyuga clan were returned, and they would return them all, but the Hyuga clan will never return it, so the whole village is waiting to see a joke on the party, but most people are actually waiting for the Uchiha clan's jokes. Under the guidance of public opinion, and the Uchiha clan themselves are arrogant, naturally many people hope that they will fall down. Do you have a better way? In the past, our hard-working people simply didn't accept it. Shisui now understood that he had tried various methods, but in the eyes of his tribe, he was a traitor and was not accepted by them at all. But if Baiyi's current suicidal approach fails, he will drag his clan members into hell together, but the clan members just did this. Obviously, the clan members had been suppressed for too long, and it was impossible for them to follow their design as Itachi said. If so, then they are not members of the Uchiha clan. Let's see what Baiyi does. Don't forget that Baiyi is the leader of the clan. Jisui's eyes flashed for a moment, but in the end he chose to suppress his thoughts for the time being. Other gods will not use this eye technique unless it is a last resort. This was the pupil technique that he was sure could change the situation of the Uchiha clan. Now it was useless to use other gods against Byakuya. The news has spread throughout Konoha. Telling Byakuya to stop will make the Uchiha clan the laughing stock of Konoha, so he can't stop Byakuya from doing it. In order to protect the Uchiha clan from becoming the laughing stock, he may even end up being hooked up by your own other gods. Shisui is different from Itachi. Shisui is a holy mother, but not extreme. He also doesn't want problems for the Uchiha clan. Then just wait and see. Itachi had no other choice but to see how Baiyi would deal with it, and the Hyuga clan at this moment, after learning what happened, the Zone family was having a meeting, and Hinata Hisashi was surrounded by a group of elders. Some of these elders looked calm, while others were excited, and some even wanted to see the Uchiha clan's jokes. You actually want the Hyuga clan to return their land. How is this possible? Rizu, you should know what to do, right? Seeing Hinata Hizu's appearance, the elders also asked quickly. I know, but these lands seem a bit tasteless to us, right? Even though they are useless, there is no way we can return these to the Uchiha clan. The elder puffed his beard and said with a glare, it was okay if they didn't want this land, but this was for them to give to Uchiha, not for Uchiha to ask for it. The Hyuga clan was originally in this area, and the post-disaster reconstruction will naturally be here again. But Konoha also gave itself some land that originally belonged to the Uchiha clan, with the intention of not giving it up. All these lands were taken over by the Hyuga clan, but because those lands were on the periphery of the Hyuga clan, there were basically no people living there. It has simply been abandoned, but this does not mean that they will return this land to the Uchiha. Mainly because of the number one eye technique family, they have been fighting with the Uchiha clan. Of course, if the other party wants this, they must admit that the Hyuga family is the number one pupil family. Exactly, for this reason, once the other party admits it, the Uchiha clan will be embarrassed. Even if the Hyuga clan returns the land to the Uchiha clan, it will not be ashamed. Rizu, what are you going to do? The elders looked at Hinata Hinashi. As for how to deal with it specifically, they still had to look at Hinata Hinashi at the moment. No matter what, he is still the leader of the Hinata clan. If you don't return it, there is no need for the other party to admit anything. After all, since this belongs to us Hinata, there is no reason to return it to the Uchiha. After so many years, they say they want it, so do we Hinata have to give it to us? Hyuga Hisashi shook his head. He would not agree to this request. Although he knew that he was being used as a gun by Konoha's top brass this time, it was also related to the dignity of the Hyuga clan and he would not hand it over. That's right, we will never cross it. Do they still need recognition from the Uchiha clan? If you can't get it back, doesn't that prove it? The other elders also thought about it, and they would never give it anyway. Clan leader, Uchiha Byakuya is here, do you want to see him? Outside the door, a member of the Hinata family hurried into the conference room to report the news of Byakuya's arrival. No, that kid said he wanted to see us, so does he have to see us? One of the white-bearded elders blew his beard and said with a glare, thinking about letting him go for a while, now Byakuya is begging them to leave him outside the door, so that he can know who is the king. Based on the current situation of the Uchiha clan, I believe Byakuya will not dare to offend their Hyuga clan again. Sorry for coming uninvited. How did this bastard get in? Looking at Baiyi who walked in around the corner and the three Magatama and his pupils, Elder Hinata also had a bad premonition at this moment. He immediately stood up and looked behind him. All members of the Hyuga clan were controlled by Byakuya's illusion. This is his Sharingan so powerful? Although the Hyuga clan is not very accomplished in genjutsu, they still have their own methods of resisting genjutsu. However, when facing Byakuya, he was actually able to control them all with his Sharingan. If he takes action, doesn't it mean that there are only a few people in Hinata who can defeat Byakuya? Is this the Sharingan? But it's not like they haven't fought against the Uchiha clan before, so why is his Sharingan different from other people's? Of course I walked in directly. Are you interested in having a nice chat, head of the Hyuga clan? Baiyi didn't look out at all, just found a place to sit down, and then looked at Hinata and Hinata. With your attitude, do you think that our Hyuga clan will cooperate with you? Cooperation is always just an exchange of interests. Since you were planning to give me power before, now that I have cracked it, why are you so anxious? Baiyi had already thought before coming that the Hyuga clan would never let him in, just use illusions to control the opponent directly. After the Sharingan is upgraded to the Mangekyo, even with the three Magatama, the eye power is much stronger than the original one. Baiyi, what do you mean? Hinata Hizu looked at Baiyi with a sullen face. He was a little confused in his heart. Baiyi shouldn't be so reckless. If you want to get the land back, irritating yourself will only make things more difficult to recover. But why does Baiyi choose to use this method? I told you, Hizu clan leader, that we need to have a good talk about the land beneath our feet. I believe you also know about the rumors about Konoha, right? This is the land of our Hyuga clan now, so there is no problem of not paying it back. You can go back. Hinata Hisashi expressed his attitude directly. Now that the land is in his hands, it is definitely impossible to give it to Baiyi again. If he returns it to Byakuya, then Hinata and Hinata don't even know how the village will talk about Hinata in the future. Are they afraid of Uchiha? The Uchiha clan and the Hyuga clan have reached the point where they are at odds with each other. The leader of the Hyuga clan actually still wants to fight with the Uchiha clan, Baiyi said, then looked at the Hinata branch who had been controlled and said, go and pour me a cup of tea. Yes. Looking at the scene in front of him, Hinata's veins were exposed, his eyes were staring at Byakuya, and his Byakugan was already opened, ready to take action against Byakuya at any time. He really couldn't bear Byakuya's attitude of being like no one else. Is this the Uchiha clan or the Hinata? What do you mean? Hinata Hisashi tried his best to calm down. Don't forget, it's not us who are being targeted now, but your Uchiha clan. Do you still want to offend us? Of course, we are being targeted now. We are being targeted by Konoha. Once we fall, who will be next? The Hyuga clan has a ninja force that does not receive orders and only obeys the clan. What do you think of Konoha? Will ye be assured of your existence? Although in the original work, the Hyuga clan has never had many problems, but Hinata didn't know. Of course he could use this matter to intimidate Hinata and Hinata. Don't forget, when the Cloud Ninja kidnapped your daughter, you were just the ninja who killed the Cloud Ninja. In order to appease the Cloud Ninja's anger, they did not go to war with the Cloud Ninja, but they wanted to hand you over. After all, you are also the one who can be sacrificed. Now Konoha has become the plaything of the elders. Do you think they will not target you after we fall? Think about Hisashi who died for you. After Bai finished speaking, he stopped talking and gave Hinata and Hinata the time to think. No matter how much he said, it was not as good as Hinata and Hizu's own thoughts, not to mention that what he said was not wrong. Bai didn't believe that he wouldn't hold a grudge for what Konoha did. He glanced at Hinata Hisashi, whose expression was constantly changing, while Byakuya was drinking tea with the old god there. After a while, Hinata Hizu raised his head and looked at Bai and asked, "What do you want?" That he is not in a hurry to drive Bai away at this moment. How can he not hate it? Now Niji still hates himself, and does he want to hand over Hinata Hisashi? At first, he didn't even understand why Konoha had to compromise on this matter. I think we are not enemies, we can even be allies. After Uchiha falls, the next target will naturally be the Hyuga clan. After all, unless you are willing to be the Hokage's dog like Ino Shikacho, I don't think so. Is it impossible? What's more, don't forget that Danzo has been looking for other members of the bloodstained family to join his roots. Danzo and Orochimaru once studied bloodstains together. After all, aren't you, the Hyuga clan, afraid of bloodstains leaking out? Not to say that the person in Konoha who is most afraid of bloodstains is the Hyuga clan. What can we get? Hyuga Hayashi looked at Bai, and he also had an idea in his heart. It seemed that it was indeed good to let the Uchiha clan take over a piece of land that was not needed much. Hearing him say this, Bai's mouth curled up a smile. It seemed that it was almost done. From the perspective of God, through the plot, the Hyuga clan was fine in the future, but Hyuga Hayashi didn't know. He was also worried in his heart that Konoha would take action against them in the future. It was not without precedent. The sacrifice of Hyuga Hayashi to the hidden cloud village was a good example. At present, Hyuga Hayashi didn't dare to gamble. Even the Uchiha clan dared to do this, so Hyuga would inevitably encounter it. In fact, in the future, because of the extermination of the Uchiha clan, although the third generation and others did not directly participate, but with the extermination of the Uchiha clan, the other families of Konoha became much more honest. At that time, Sarutobi Hiruzen's control over Konoha reached its peak. What you can get is that our Uchiha clan will carry it for you. You can only pray that we don't fall, otherwise you will be the next one. Isn't Konoha afraid of being targeted by other ninja villages? One of the elders asked unwillingly. Although he didn't want to agree with Bai's point of view, what he said was indeed correct, but he also thought that Konoha didn't dare to do it so drastically. After all, once this was done, Konoha's strength would definitely weaken in the future. It's okay to weaken you, right? Chief Hayashi, this land is of no use to you at all. Instead, if you give it back to us, we can also make Sarutobi Hiruzen and others less arrogant. After all, how many resources have the Sarutobi clan and the Shimura clan eaten up because of their relationship over the years? This didn't originally belong to them, and Konoha's Hokage has been in office for so many years. I think it's about time to change to a relatively fair one, right? That he wants to change the Hokage. Hinata Hayashi suddenly raised his head and looked at Bai. Got it. He understood it all now. He already knew what Bai was going to do. It turned out that he wanted to get Sarutobi Hiruzen out of office, and everything he did now seemed to explain it all, but did he overlook a question? Do you have the strength to do this? Hinata Hayashi raised his eyes and looked at him, but the next second, with his back to everyone, where only Hinata Hayashi could see, the three Magatama turned into a strange pattern. After seeing this pattern, Hinata Hayashi looked at Bai in shock and was speechless for a moment. Chapter 18, Dealing with Hyuga, Meeting Hinata for the First Time, Seeking Monthly Ticket for Follow. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 18, Dealing with Hyuga, Meeting Hinata for the First Time. Please read, collect, recommend and vote for the monthly ticket. You actually. Hyuga Hayashi stood up suddenly, then looked at the black pupil that had changed from a Mangekyo to 3 Magatama and then disappeared, and murmured, "Is this what you rely on? What a genius is this? Baiyi is only a teenager, and he actually possesses the ultimate power of the Uchiha clan, the Mangekyo." Hyuga Hayashi also understands why Baiyi has the confidence to go against Konoha, and this also makes Hyuga Hayashi begin to re-examine Baiyi. Indeed, as Baiyi said, this piece of land is actually not very useful to their Hyuga clan. The most central position has all been taken by Sarutobi, Shimura, Mito, and the Utani clan, and they only took the corners, which is close to the edge of their Hyuga clan's original land. It's a pity to eat it and throw it away. In the final analysis, returning it to the Uchiha clan will not cause any loss to the Hyuga clan at all, but it would be embarrassing, and if it got out, people would think that the Hyuga clan was afraid of the Uchiha clan. What's going on with Hayashi? That the elders looked at Hayashi and found that he seemed to have changed a little compared to just now. They subconsciously looked at Hayashi's eyes, and after confirming that he was not controlled by the pupil technique of the Sharingan, they couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. "It's okay, I just feel that we really need to have a good chat." "Then let's chat, that the extra people can leave." Hayashi thought about it, and finally nodded to agree to Baiyi's request. He now recognized that Baiyi could communicate with him on the same position. At first, he thought that Baiyi was just a puppet pushed out by the Uchiha radicals, but now it seems that the other party really has the power to change the current situation. Anyway, it's not their Hyuga clan that is currently hostile to the Uchiha clan, so why should they become the vanguard of Sarutobi Hiruzen and others? "Clan leader, you can't." As soon as Hyuga Hayashi finished speaking, the faces of several elders changed immediately. The Uchiha in front of him had used the Sharingan to control all the Hyuga clan members before he came in. If Baiyi and Hyuga Hayashi were to stay together now, it would be hard for them not to doubt whether Baiyi would take action. "You go out first to help those guys get rid of the illusions, and let them train me well in the future to resist illusions. You are not needed here. He will not attack me. You can just go out." A trace of anger flashed across Hyuga Hayashi's face. In the Hyuga clan, although many things are decided by the elders of the main family, as the clan leader, he has the right to have the final say. At the beginning, the Cloud Ninja demanded the handing over of the murderer, but he just wanted to protect his daughter. He thought Konoha would stand on his side, but Konoha actually chose to give in weakly. In the end, Hisashi died for him. Even if Hisashi died, he actually didn't want to hand over Hyuga Hisashi, but he couldn't stand the pressure from Konoha, the Cloud Ninja and some people in the clan. In the end, he could only hand over Hisashi's body. Even now, he still couldn't let it go. The clan leader is obviously the biggest in this clan with clear class distinctions, so, after Hyuga Hayashi finished speaking, the other elders just opened their mouths, but didn't say anything in the end, and then left. After Hyuga Hayashi was the only one in the entire reception room, Hyuga Hayashi asked, "So, this is your confidence? Do you think your ability can sweep Konoha?" Hyuga Hayashi admitted that Hyuga's Mangekyo did surprise him a little, but after calming down, Hyuga Hayashi directly poured a basin of cold water on him. If Hyuga wanted to rely on Mangekyo to solve Konoha, it would be impossible. "I have always said that our Uchiha clan and most of the Konoha clans are not enemies. Why do you think that our Uchiha clan is going to fight against the entire Konoha?" Hyuga asked curiously, as if in everyone's impression, everything the Uchiha clan is doing now is to fight against the entire Konoha. Even the people in the Uchiha clan thought so, but Baiyi didn't think so, and he never thought of doing so. What's the point of killing everyone in Konoha? Then there will only be people from your clan in this village. Is this still a village? If you want to become Hokage, you will inevitably become the enemy of most people. The cake of Konoha has been divided up almost. Hinata Hayashi lowered his eyes and looked at Baiyi, then slowly explained, "Who among them doesn't know that the Uchiha clan wants to become Hokage?" They even shouted why the Senju clan, who founded Konoha with the Uchiha clan, had Hokage, but the Uchiha clan didn't, and they also wanted to have a Hokage. Konoha is like a big cake. Although it looks big, there are many people eating it, so naturally everyone can't get much. Now this cake is close to saturation. If the Uchiha clan comes to power, this is definitely not what the other ninja clans in Konoha want to see. The Uchiha clan is now the largest clan in Konoha. If a Hokage appears, their status will be unshakable. In the future, won't everyone be ridden on the necks by the Uchiha clan? I have never thought about the Uchiha clan becoming Hokage. The position of Hokage is not suitable for us Uchiha, and what we want is fairness. The current situation is being targeted by the Hokage. If it were you Hyuga, you would probably do the same as us, right? So, I found you, because if we fall, the next one will be you. If we cooperate, we can also attract firepower for you. Bai never thought about becoming Hokage. Hokage is not as important as your own strength. If you have the strength of the Six Paths Sage, would you still care about this position? Moreover, once you become Hokage, your own training will definitely be delayed. Even if you don't tire yourself out like Naruto, you will definitely be like Tsunade, being annoyed by government affairs every day, but you can't shirk it. So Bai didn't think about Hokage from the beginning, and there are candidates for Konoha to become Hokage, but Sarutobi Hiruzen must step down. If he stays in this position, the Uchiha clan will never have peace. So, if you want them to step down, what can we get? That if the Uchiha clan is not the one who comes to power later, this matter can actually be accepted. Hyuga Hayashi is actually very dissatisfied with the few people headed by Sarutobi Hiruzen. If it weren't for them, Hyuga Hayashi would not have died. It is impossible for him to say that he has no other ideas in his heart, but even if he wants it very much, there must be benefits, right? Otherwise, how can he explain to the other party? Isn't it enough for you to share after killing those 4 families? You don't need your Hyuga clan to work hard, as long as you don't care when I deal with them. Bai drew a big pie for Hyuga Hayashi. Anyway, he didn't succeed now, you can wait, and when he succeeds, everyone will eat those guys together, and as a price, as long as the Hyuga clan doesn't stand in line, it's fine. But now you want me to return the land to you. Our Hyuga clan can't just give it back to you like this. Hyuga Hayashi stared at Bai with his eyes, and he was inclined to cooperate with Bai in his heart, because it is not a big loss for the Hyuga clan. In the early stage, they just need to give the land that is not of much use to them to the Uchiha clan. In the later stage, they don't need to stand in line or do anything. If Bai wins, they will share the fruits of victory. If Bai loses, then the Hyuga clan will be fine. Instead, they will become the first family of Konoha because of the decline of the Uchiha clan, so no matter how you look at it, you will not lose. Watching Bai disgusting Sarutobi Hiruzen, he was also a little happy in his heart. After all, Sarutobi Hiruzen disgusted him a lot at the beginning, but there is another problem in front of him, that is, the face of his own Hyuga clan. We can just pay for it. If I take it back for free, you will lose face, but if we pay for it, it will be a deal. Before Bai came, he had thought about it. If they paid, then the meaning would naturally be different. Okay. Hinata Hayashi pondered for a while, then agreed, but I have a condition. You can't tell anyone now, you must deal with the Ino Shikacho first before you can tell anyone about this. Okay. Bai thought about it, and then agreed to Hinata Hayashi's request. Still want to save face? Then let's draft an agreement. Later, I will compensate you with part of the current clan land, and I will give you money if there is not enough left. After dealing with the most difficult Hyuga clan, Bai was in a good mood at the moment. The Uchiha clan is not short of money the least. Things that can be solved with money are not a problem. Before coming, Bai was ready to fight. After the 2 parties signed the agreement, Hinata Hayashi was ready to take Bai away. After what happened just now, he didn't dare to let Bai leave alone. At a corner, a figure suddenly appeared, and the next second he bumped into Bai. I'm sorry. Hinata, why are you so reckless? Hinata Hayashi saw the person who bumped into Bai, frowned, and looked at her with a somewhat unhappy face. At this moment, Hinata was no longer favored in his heart. He wanted to give up on a daughter who was timid and had no talent like his younger daughter. Looking at her serious-looking father and the stranger she had just bumped into, Hinata was anxious in her heart, and her little face was anxious to explain, and the tears in her eyes seemed to burst out in the next second, but in a panic, the more anxious she was, the more she couldn't speak. Hinata Hayashi, who was standing by, took a look and his dissatisfaction was beyond words. Is this Hinata, the daughter of the Hayashi clan leader? She's pretty and looks pretty good. I didn't notice it just now, so don't blame her. Bai Yi had a gentle smile on his face, raised his hand and touched the back of Hinata's head, then took out a piece of candy from his back and put it in her palm and said, "Don't cry, children's noses will get bigger if they cry too much. I'm sorry to embarrass you." Hyuga Hayashi glanced at Hinata, then at Bai Yi, and then said lightly, "It's okay, I think she's cute, and the little girl is also very good. Speaking of which, the family style of your Hyuga clan is really strict. I'll leave first if I'm fine, Hayashi clan leader. Then I won't see you off." Hinata Hizu nodded, looking at Bai Yi's back and not knowing what he was thinking. Hinata, who was timidly lowering her head, also raised her head and glanced at Bai Yi's leaving figure, and her hand holding the candy tightened unconsciously. "Let's go back. It's father." Hinata followed Hinata and Hizu and carefully put the candy in her pocket. This scene was also glimpsed by Hizu, and he felt even more disappointed. My daughter has grown up, why is she still the same as before? Trouble. It's really too much trouble. I said Shikaku, if Byakuya comes to us later, should we return this to him? The three heads of the Inakacho family, Nara Shikaku, Akimichi Choza, and Yamanaka Kaichi are discussing the next thing at the Nara family. Although they are loyal to the Hokage, in the current situation, if they fight against the Uchiha clan, it seems that they will lose. That's why I said it's troublesome. Let's give it to them. It won't be easy to explain to the other side. If we don't give it, it won't be easy to explain to the Uchiha side. Nara Shikaku felt that he should not have taken over this area in the first place. Their family itself does not need this part, but it is because Sarutobi Hiruzen split up the Uchiha clan. The Uchiha clan originally occupied a large area in the center of Konoha, therefore, after the split, Sarutobi Hiruzen also bordered the edge of this area with some ninja clans, and also considered it to be a win-win, among which naturally Hinata and Inoshikacho were included. Shikaku originally thought that if the Uchiha clan wanted it from him at that time, he would just give it to him. Originally, the Nara clan was quite satisfied with their original clan territory, but after so many years, he originally thought this matter had been settled. As a result, after changing the clan leader, this matter was brought up again. You can't give it to me. After all, it won't be easy for Mr. Hokage to explain it later. After all, the relationship between the village and Uchiha is very tense at the moment. Yamanaka Haichi frowned and looked at Nara Shikaku, and then expressed his worries. In his opinion, if he chose to give it at this time, there seemed to be no way to explain it to Sarutobi Hiruzen. What about Uchiha? If he can do this, he must be well prepared. Looking at Bai Yi, although he has not done many things since he came to power, everything has a purpose. He is definitely I'll get it back. So, our position is actually what Hokage-sama wants to test. If we don't give it, then we must always stand firmly with Hokage-sama, but the price is that we may have to follow the Uchiha clan in the future. If we give it, then this matter has nothing to do with us. In fact, in the final analysis, this is a problem between Uchiha and the senior management, not a grudge against us. There is a lot of business between us. Cooperating with the Uchiha clan, so why do you think it's troublesome? It's hard for Lu Jiu to say so many words at once, just because this matter is really troublesome. Chapter 19. What's up? Are you going to fight with me? Please read it later, 4K chapter. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 19. What? Do you want to have a hard time with someone? Please read, 4K big chapter. We have always been deeply bound to the Hokage family, so we definitely cannot return it. Akimichi Tingza touched the back of his head. After listening to Nara Shikaku's words, he also made his position clear. Inarakacho has been bound to the Hokage line since she joined Konoha. But we also have business dealings with the Uchiha clan. Will we be cut off from now on? Yamanaka Haichi suddenly felt a little distressed. Konoha is a community of interests. After so many years, everyone will have some interests in each other more or less, especially for a wealthy family like the Uchiha. Most of the Akimichi clan's barbecue restaurants and rice balls, Nara clan's medicinal materials, etc. are actually sold to the ninja clan, and among them, the Uchiha clan buys the most. In the past, it was all the hard steel of Konoha and the Uchiha clan. Their families don't need to come forward at all, so their business will naturally not be affected, but it's different now, and I don't know how Bai came up with this method. The pressure came directly between the ninja clan and the ninja clan, so there was no need to worry about the relationship with the Uchiha clan before hiding behind the village. What can we do? Shikaku, what do you think we should do? Akimichi Dingza thought about it and felt that it would not be good if he cut off from the Uchiha clan directly. The idea I just had was a bit extreme. Simply, he just wanted to see if Nara Shikaku had other ways to affect all of this without affecting the current situation. No solution. At least I need to know what the other party's attitude is, so we need to meet with him. A glint flashed in Nara Shikaku's eyes. After saying that, someone reported outside that Byakuya was already here. Do you want to invite him in? The three of them looked at each other, communicated with each other, and then said, go to the living room, let's all go there. Arranging Byakuya to the living room, Nara Shikaku and the other two quickly arrived here. Looking at Byakuya, who was sitting quietly waiting for the three of them, he looked up and a trace of emotion flashed in Nara Shikaku's eyes. He is really young but courageous. Back when Uchiha Fugaku was still in power, Nara Shikaku could see that if the Uchiha clan continued like this, their living space in the village would only become smaller and smaller. After Bai came on stage, he seemed to have found a way, but this alone is not enough. Nara Shikaku looked at Byakuya and said directly, you should have taken care of the Hyuga clan, right? Ah. Akimichi Tingza on the side was instantly confused. No. Do you know what you are talking about? Will the Hyuga clan really return the land to the Uchiha clan? You are indeed the leader of the Nara clan. A flash of appreciation flashed in Byakuya's eyes. He even knew this, but he was still curious about how Nara Shikaku knew. If you fail, you won't come to us, because if Hinata doesn't let go, you also know that the impossible ones will come to us. Nara Shikaku explained the reason for his speculation. In his opinion, if Byakuya hadn't taken care of the Hyuga clan, it would be basically impossible for him to come and find them. After all, if you can't even win Hinata, then this was a failure from the beginning. In this case, I won't hide it. Hinata also agreed, so I am going to ask you to get the land that originally belonged to us. Of course, you can also pay to buy it back. Anyway, these lands don't mean much to you. Use. The real bulk was taken away by Konoha F4, what Inagacho got was not much different from Hinata's, it was just some leftovers, and it didn't feel like he was bleeding heavily when they were asked to take it out. Bai Yi, you are a smart person, you should know our difficulties. Lu Jiu looked at Bai Yi, and finally breathed a sigh of relief, not knowing how to answer Bai Yi. This matter made them very embarrassed. Are you Konoha's Inakacho or Sarutobi Hiruzen's Inakacho? Byakuya also didn't answer, but turned to look at Nara Shikaku and the others. Listening to Byakuya's question, Nara Shikamaru secretly thought that it was indeed troublesome, but he still patiently explained to Byakuya, we have always followed the strategy of supporting whoever is the Hokage. His answer also made his position clear. If the Hokage was Byakuya today, then they would also support Byakuya, not that they clearly support whom. This itself has something to do with the strategy of the three tribes when they joined Konoha. During the Warring States period, Inakacho and Inakacho were in an alliance. Because ninjutsu itself can be considered as cooperation, the relationship between the three families was not bad. All the way to Konoha, after they joined, the Nara family established a policy and the other two families agreed. Just appeared. Hokage has not always existed, and a Hokage who is already old and can't even control the village, is it a bit foolish to continue to be loyal? Byakuya was curious. According to Shikaku's wisdom, he should be able to tell that Hiruzen Sarutobi would only become weaker and weaker during his reign. Even if we can't control it, we can't act rashly. Besides, if you do this, it will only cause Konoha to collapse. Nara Shikaku knew what Byakuya wanted to do, but this is not fun to do. One clan will not be the rival of a village. I think if possible, you can sit down and have a good talk, Shikaku persuaded. In fact, he also knew that the Uchiha clan was already ready to make trouble. But a village is a violent organization that combines countless families. No matter how strong the Uchiha clan is, unless they have their ancestor Madara, it is simply impossible. Shikaku, you are wrong. We were not enemies from the beginning. I took back the land that originally belonged to us. This is just for the peace of the village. The tribe has been depressed to the point of reaching a dead end. If we don't find some people at this time, at the point of venting, I'm afraid the village will fall into chaos. From the time we got the land back, there was actually no loss for Inakacho and Hinata. Even the Sarutobi clan just moved away from the center of the village. The place where we live now can be given to them. Yes, what Byakuya said is indeed very reasonable. How could Nara Shikaku not know about it, but you changed the central position to a remote position? It is impossible to say that the Sarutobi clan has no ideas. I want to know why the Hyuga clan agreed. After Nara Shikaku finished speaking, he stared at Byakuya. Before making this decision, he must know why the Hyuga clan agreed to such a ridiculous approach. Because a village cannot be dominated by one family, but must be balanced. If you want to retreat when you are young, you must retreat gracefully. Only when you are old will people respect you. Lianzhuang has been around for too long, and most of the village has been those guys have swallowed it up. Maybe if it continues like this, a new Konoha will be created in the future, Byakuya said with a smile on his lips. After all, isn't it that the Hyuga clan is dissatisfied with Sarutobi Hiruzen? If Hiruzen Sarutobi hadn't done those things, and if most of these benefits hadn't been eaten up by Sarutobi, Shimura, and other families, they wouldn't have cooperated with the Uchiha clan. Your thoughts like this are very dangerous. Nara Shikaku hopes for a peaceful Konoha rather than a damaged Konoha. After all, once Konoha really goes to war with the Uchiha clan, then other forces in the ninja world will definitely go to war with them. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to carve up Konoha. Who is willing to miss it? If we return the land to you, can you maintain the status quo? What we want is a peaceful Konoha. If you can do it, then we can also return the land to you. Nara Shikaku really didn't want Konoha and Uchiha to go to war, and this newly elected Byakuya is most likely a radical within the Uchiha clan. Therefore, if he really doesn't agree to the other party at this time, there is a high probability that there will be civil strife. In fact, after Bai Yi came here, he had already thought about returning it to Bai Yi. If even the Hyuga clan can handle it, there must be some kind of deal with the Hyuga clan, otherwise the other party will not easily return these lands to them. I can make sure they don't mess with us, we won't cause trouble, and I can restrain the tribesmen, but if they are still aggressive, it's beyond my control. After Byakuya finished speaking, he didn't say anything. Yamanaka Haichi and Akimichi Choza on the side also focused on Nara Shikaku. Obviously, they finally left the decision to him. No matter how many questions they had in mind, they decided to wait until Bai Yi left before asking them. I understand. We will give the land to you in a transaction. I hope you will keep your promise. Good. Sure enough, it was just as I thought. Once the Hyuga clan was taken care of, Inakacho was actually very easy to take care of. Although they are from the Hokage's side, they themselves have to consider the interests of their own family. At the same time, what Sarutobi Hiruzen has done in recent years has actually caused dissatisfaction among many families. At this time, the reason why Sarutobi Hiruzen did not take action against the Uchiha clan was because his control over Konoha was too weak. Once he takes action personally, it will trigger a counterattack from other families in the village, so he needed an opportunity. Of course Sarutobi Hiruzen wanted the Uchiha clan to be exterminated, first of all, to solve one of the biggest troubles, and secondly to be able to scare other families. This is also one of the reasons why Sarutobi Hiruzen seemed to have regained control of Konoha from the time after the Uchiha genocide to the beginning of the plot. Although he didn't take action directly, such a big thing happened in Konoha. If you want to say that Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't know about it and that none of the ANBU went there, this is obviously impossible. Therefore, after the night of the genocide, Sarutobi Hiruzen once again took control of Konoha. The reason why Byakuya said this was because the other party would not stop at all. Danzo must let the Uchiha clan be wiped out, otherwise how would he get Izanagi's Sharingan? The second is interest. Having offended the four of them, it is unlikely that they will get along well with each other in the future, but Byakuya can no longer control so much. To be quiet during this period, first of all, let some voices within the Uchiha clan be quieted. The second is that Byakuya needs to trade time for space. Although he has turned on the kaleidoscope, the current threat has not been eliminated. Obito is the person behind the whole thing who wants to destroy the Uchiha clan the most, and Shisui is also the one Byakuya wants to win over. Once Shisui is allowed to stand with him, then there are other gods, and he does not believe that Obito Earth can be so unscrupulous. One is Obito and the other is Zetsu. The two people really want to exterminate the Uchiha clan, therefore, time is the most important thing for Byakuya now, and after experiencing this incident, Byakuya believes that Sarutobi Hiruzen and his men will probably stay quiet for a while, and it is during this period of time that Byakuya must fight for. So Byakuya naturally agreed to Shikaku's request. After the two parties signed the purchase contract, when Byakuya left, Yamanaka and Noichi couldn't resist the question in his heart, Shikaku, why did you agree so quickly? The other party has an agreement with the Hyuga clan. If one of the two families fails to handle it well, Konoha will fall apart directly. Secondly, we are indeed from the Hokage family, but I have said before that whoever is the Hokage, we will support him, so what we have to do is to stabilize Konoha and prevent Konoha from getting in chaos, rather than stabilizing someone's rule. Byakuya is right. In fact, after that incident, he shouldn't have come up. It's a pity for Minato. If Minato was still here, this situation would not have happened. Nara Shikaku's eyes flashed with a trace of nostalgia. When Minato was still the Hokage, he was the Hokage's assistant. However, after Minato died, Sarutobi Hiruzen took the throne, and his Hokage's assistant became Danzo. He is not greedy for power, but it is obviously impossible to say that he has no opinions in his heart. He was very dissatisfied with Sarutobi Hiruzen's re-emergence and the subsequent operations, especially Naruto. He was Minato's son, but he was treated like this. Even if Jinchuriki was not welcome in other villages, you couldn't let him eat expired products every day, right? Minato said that he was the fourth Hokage and Naruto was the son of a hero. Not to mention how good the treatment was this how you promised to take care of his son? How could the Hyuga clan have an agreement with the Uchiha clan? Kimichi Choza was stunned. Didn't they say that the two sides didn't like each other? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Don't forget that the Hidden Cloud village kidnapped Hinata. Hayashi died because of this. It's impossible for Hayashi to say that he doesn't care, so it's normal for them to cooperate. Shikaku analyzed slowly. Then won't you make Konoha completely chaotic? You know, they said that as long as they return, the Sarutobi clan will also return. What else do you want to do? Do you want to go to war with the Uchiha clan? Then you only have two choices. One is to let the Sarutobi clan fight the Uchiha clan head-on, and the other is to let them fight the Uchiha clan head-on. Which one do you want to choose? And it may not be just the Uchiha clan, maybe the Hyuga clan too. Chapter 20, Lottery, 8 Gates of Dunjia. Please read and recommend the 4K chapter with monthly tea. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 20, Lottery, 8 Gate Dunjia. Please pursue reading the recommended monthly ticket 4K chapter. Nara Shikaku thought he had made the best choice. How could he not know that Sarutobi Hiruzen released the news because he actually wanted them to fight against the Uchiha clan? If the Hyuga clan doesn't compromise, then they won't compromise either, but the Hyuga clan has returned the land to the Uchiha clan, so they can only choose to keep up at this time. It is simply unrealistic to expect Inakacho to face the Uchiha clan. What's more, there is no benefit to holding this thing. The Uchiha just took back the land that originally belonged to them. Most of it was taken away by the four families of Sarutobi, Shimura, Mito, and Tenjin. As a result, the four families hid behind and asked them and Hinata to fight. Oh no! There aren't many benefits, so let them take the blame. But if we do it this way, it might not be easy to deal with later, right? Yamanaka Haichi was also a little worried because this matter created a gap between him and Konoha's top management. There is no other way. Hinata has agreed that we do not have the strength to fight against the Uchiha, and there is a high probability that the Hokage will not be able to give us any help. It is simply a fantasy for us to resist the Uchiha, and Konoha cannot always let it go. One person speaks for himself. At first Shikaku saw hope in Namake's Minato, the hope of changing Konoha. Unfortunately, the emergence of the Nine-Tails Rebellion directly caused everything to change. Sarutobi Hiruzen came back to power, and the original New Order returned to the old order. Shimura Danzo, Mito Kadoin and Kaden Koharu stood at the center of power again. After all, changing to another Hokage is just to redistribute the cake. As a result, your cake is eaten by the original people. Who would be happy with this? Actually, this matter can be regarded as a reminder to Hokage-sama. In the final analysis, the Uchiha clan and us have never been enemies. We are all members of the family. It is a bit too much to always target the Uchiha clan. Looking at the overall situation, Nara Shikaku, Konoha's current high-pressure policy against Uchiha will definitely cause problems for Uchiha in the future. Although families are constantly fighting for resources, they must not sit back and watch Konoha push the Uchiha clan to a dead end. Once the other party rebels, it will definitely not be good news for Konoha, and it's almost enough. Although they, Ino Shiga Dai, are supporters of Hokage, they are not mindless supporters. With the current situation in Konoha, they have eaten too much. Okay, let's do whatever you say, Shikaku. Besides, the agreement has already been signed. Akimichi Tingza didn't want to continue listening to the long speech. He felt that the things were almost done, and it would be useless to talk about it anymore. What's more, even if he did this, wouldn't Hiruzen Sarutobi do anything to them? But don't forget that they, Ino Shikacho, have always been an alliance. What's more, according to Shikaku's analysis, both the Hinata and Uchiha clans are dissatisfied with the Hokage. Now Sarutobi Hiruzen should be worried about the two of them the most. Oh, what a troubled time it has been. Nara Shikamaru looked out the door, then shook his head. Forget it, we don't have to get involved in such a troublesome matter. Anyway, this is an issue between the top management and Uchiha. It's really troublesome. Why do we have to participate in political struggles? Go inside. After doing all this, Nara Shikaku also decided to see who of the two sides would make it to the end. Most families in Konoha village can actually see that the relationship between Uchiha and Konoha has reached a critical point. This is why Nara Shikaku wants to return the land to the Uchiha. If they don't return it, the Uchiha will explode, but if they return it, they will be stable for a while, and then although the Sarutobi and Shimura clan will be unhappy, at least they will not rebel directly like the Uchiha. If it were Fugaku, he would really think about it before making a decision, but Byakuya was different. This approach was undoubtedly biased towards the radicals. Once he refused, the first ones to start a fight would be Inagacho and Uchiha. He didn't want to get involved in this kind of thing, at least he couldn't drag Zolidi into the abyss. I'm so sorry, Hokage-sama. I need to trouble you for to move today. After Byakuya got the land transaction book from Hinata and Ino Shikacho, he approached Hiruzen Sarutobi immediately, and he didn't want to give Hiruzen Sarutobi time. Looking at the transaction book in front of him, Sarutobi Hiruzen fell silent. He had thought that maybe Baiyi could really do it, but it would definitely not be possible to do it in one day. The whole of Konoha was watching the news that Danzo had just gotten out today. He hadn't even talked to Ino Shikacho and Konoha yet, but Byakuya had settled it. How can it be? Danzo's face was also extremely ugly. According to the original agreement with Baiyi, the four of them had to move out immediately. Nothing is impossible. To them, these places are just useless, so isn't it normal to sell these to us? Baiyi, it will take some time to move. A kind smile flashed across Sarutobi Hiruzen's face, and he still wanted to delay it for a while. After all, he hadn't figured out the situation yet, but Baiyi had taken care of it. He wanted to see if he could operate it himself. No, you can just leave. One day is almost enough. After all, with the help of ninjas, we can clean up quickly. If not, our Uchiha clan can provide moving services. In addition, I have asked people to notify the people in the clan. Going to move, you won't regret it, third generation, after all, the whole village knows about it. Byakuya looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen with a smile. Although he had tried his best to restrain himself, Byakuya could still see the anger hidden in his eyes that was quickly hidden. Danzo, Kadoin and Koharu who were sleeping next to them didn't know what to say for a moment. This central location of Konoha was taken back by the Uchiha clan, so it would be impossible for the people in their clan to say anything. This is in the center of Konoha. On the contrary, if they had not publicized this matter before, they would have had a chance to regret it, but now that the whole village knew about it, they would probably lose their face if they regretted it. Of course you won't go back on your word, but at least give us some time to find a place to live, right? No, we can give you some of the places where Uchiha currently lives. It just so happens that you didn't say that you could keep Konoha safe by living nearby. We will give the responsibility of protecting Konoha to the four of you. I believe that as the Hokage and the elders, you should be better protected than us Uchiha, right? Do you really want to do this so well? A trace of gloom flashed in Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyes, and for a moment there was a hint of murderous intent in his heart. This was not just for Byakuya, but also for Uchiha. He felt as if his control over Konoha had diminished. To Sarutobi Hiruzen, that was completely unacceptable. I'll let them vacate it now. Sarutobi Hiruzen closed his eyes and said no more, but Kadoin and others on the side were anxious. Sarutobi, stop talking. Since we promised others things, we must fulfill them. That I am willing to admit defeat. Sarutobi Hiruzen admitted that he underestimated Byakuya at first, but just this time, he will definitely treat Byakuya's opponent seriously. Give it. Danzo was no longer silent, and he didn't want to show any bad expression in front of Byakuya. I see. After seeing the attitudes of Sarutobi Hiruzen and Danzo, the other two people also knew that they had to give this thing away. Then thank you, Hokage-sama. In that case, I will go back and organize the Uchiha clan to move. With that said, Byakuya stood up and left the Hokage's office. After Byakuya left, Koharu quickly asked when he went to bed, Sarutobi, what are we going to do next? The Uchiha clan is simply lawless now. Her land. The thought of leaving here soon and returning to the edge made her feel uncomfortable. He just won this time. Only the one who wins to the end is called the big winner. If we give it to them this time, they will be more successful, and their subsequent plans for us will be smoother. After Danzo finished speaking, he closed his eyes. It was obvious that he was not as calm as he seemed at this moment. If we lose, we lose. If we lose, we will give it. If we don't give it this time, how will we manage the village in the future? Then what's the harm in giving it back to the Uchiha clan? Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyes were deep, and he began to care in his heart. It seemed that he had to step up his action, but fortunately he still had a trump card, Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Shisui. When the time comes, it will be up to the two of them to destroy the Uchiha clan. Originally, Sarutobi Hiruzen had been struggling with whether to keep part of the Uchiha or completely annihilate the clan. Now he doesn't think about it anymore. He knows that Byakuya's appearance on stage is completely different from Uchiha Fugaku's. He was dealing with Byakuya using the same method he used to deal with Uchiha Fugaku. It also caused him to suffer a bit in this regard, but he won't do it next time. What about Hinata and Inakacho? Maitaman Yen asked. There is also the problem of these four families. The four families were betrayed so quickly that they did not even have time to prepare. You can't move. If you move, it will not be conducive to our future actions. Moreover, Sarutobi, you must think about one thing, that is, the position of the Uchiha clan at the center. It will be difficult for us to take action in the future. I said at the beginning that the clan should be wiped out early. You just don't listen. Danzo almost exploded with anger when he said this. At the beginning, Uchiha was at the edge of the village, where it was easy to do things. As long as the layout was good, no one would notice, but now that people have moved to the center of the village, it won't be that easy for you to attack them again. Danzo, I told you not to attack Uchiha just yet. Sarutobi Hiruzen raised his head and looked at Danzo. He wanted to do it too, but he couldn't do it himself. As for Hinata and the others, forget it. Is it because of the daily difference? Sarutobi Hiruzen couldn't help but sigh in his heart. Hinata couldn't move. He owed each other one time. It was understandable for them to do so. Inakacho couldn't move even more. He was an ally of Hokage. If they still had a fight, then his control over Konoha will probably drop to another level. All I can say is that we really lost this time. The Uchiha clan, after Byakuya brought back the good news that he could return to his original clan immediately, the entire Uchiha clan burst into joy. Living here not only means being monitored every day, but also some elderly people and children have to walk a long way to the center of the village. This is a world of difference from the previous treatment. Now, after Baiyi took back the original clan land, many Uchiha ninjas instantly thought that Baiyi's promotion was indeed the right choice. In the conference room, Uchiha Setsuna patted Baiyi on the shoulder, with a look of relief on his face. Baiyi, you really did it. I really didn't misjudge you. At first, I was worried that Baiyi couldn't do it, but I didn't expect Baiyi to complete it in one day. Indeed, although the relationship with Konoha has deteriorated, the clan members are also very happy to get back the land that originally belonged to us. Uchiha Tai stroked his beard and said with a smile, although Uchiha Jin on the side did not speak, his eyes were full of relief. Obviously, they were very satisfied with Baiyi's action this time. Alas, am I really not suitable to be the clan leader? A bitter smile flashed across Uchiha Fugaku's face. He had been in power for so many years, and his confrontations with the Konoha high-level officials had always failed. Now Baiyi was able to do so well in his first time in power. Although it worsened the relationship between the Uchiha and the village, at least the clan members should be very glad that Baiyi was in power at this moment, right? Thinking of this, he suddenly felt that he seemed to have failed to some extent. There is still a long way to go. Baiyi put his hands together in his sleeves, stood up and walked out the door. Looking at the Uchiha clan members who were smiling and packing their things to move, Baiyi also felt a little proud. He changed the current situation of the Uchiha. At this moment, perhaps everyone is thanking himself as the clan leader. Ding! The plot has been changed successfully. Congratulations to the host for winning a chance to draw a lottery. Looking at the system prompt, Baiyi's smile became even wider. After this matter came to an end, the next time the plot is changed, it is estimated that it will start with Shisui and others. Ding! Successfully used the lottery opportunity. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 8 Gates of Dunjia. Hokage Byakuya, 8 Gates of Dunjia. It seems that everyone can practice this thing. Pirate Byakuya, this thing is to unlock the channel of chakra bondage in exchange for power. We should not be able to practice it, right? It should be up to you. Speaking of which, you have changed a lot. I will make you a fruit to strengthen it later. Yokai Byakuya, oh. You want to make a fruit? By the way, your era was the rocks era, right? What fruit do you want to make? Pirate Byakuya, it's best to be Nika, but I can't find it. This fruit has its own ideas. I'm going to go to Bika to find the thunder fruit. The thunder fruit is a fruit that Enel played well, but not well. He will not leave it to Enel.